Underway. Excellent. Hello and welcome to this week's Dolphin Star Temple meditation. My name's Tony Collins. I am a new face in the gallery of people who've been doing excellent meditations, great work for the temple over the past year or so. And it's a real privilege and an honor to be here. Thanks to the temple for inviting me to do a couple of meditations to help with everybody else's work over this time. So I am going to focus on a topic that I think is very important for all of us at this point in time, where we're presently located in the old third dimensional earth realms, which have been a little upended, to say the least, over the last 18 months. And I wanted to focus very much on the notion of divine sovereignty, of claiming our sovereignty, of holding our sovereignty, and of having more of a fifth dimensional perspective and energy inside our third dimensional body. Very, very important at this time. So the sovereignty aspect is a birthright. It's an unalienable gift that we all have from universal laws. And we can also use today's meditation and the next one to assist in helping to clear our own auras, raise our own vibration. And in the following meditation, I'll focus on doing that for the planet on more of a global scale. For today's meditation, we'll focus more on the personal, so just yourself and your own aura, your own being. And in the next meditation, we'll focus on doing that more for the collective. To begin with, there's a couple of concepts I do want to talk about before we begin that will help go through the process, the steps of the actual meditation. And I'll cover these briefly, but I wanted to talk about the 7 planes of reality. So planes of reality, there are many, many dimensions and many dimensions within planes, and there's different rules and laws that are associated with that. But for the purposes of this meditation, we'll just focus on the basic planes that make up the energetic reality. So briefly, I don't want to spend too much time on planes 1 or 2 because we're not really focused on those at the moment. But our first plane would relate very much to the solid building blocks of the world, the planet that we stand on. So when you think about the real base layer, so rocks and crystals and earth, the solid layers of the earth, they do move, of course, but often they take a long period of time. Might take thousands of years to generate and move into another form. That would make up the first plane, very, very basically. That's the first plane. The second plane relates more to organic, so it's the formation of the start of organic matter, which would relate to things like grass, flowers, trees. They have a life, they're a life form, vegetables, all of these things, and they grow and they move, but they tend to be also stuck in one place. Our third plane, this is very relevant to the meditation and what we're going to be working on. That definitely relates more to ourselves, our physical body. So the body that we're in, the human being. It also relates, of course, to all animals, birds, sea creatures, anything that has the freedom of movement and has its own organic structure, which can move from place to place. The fourth plane is very much to do with the astral realm. So it's that shadowy sort of in-between state, which is not physical necessarily, but it's not fully the spiritual planes or the fullness of the soul and the essence of the soul. Around about now, I might just mention that for many years, I've done past life regression and life between lives, hypnotherapy. And when it comes to traversing the consciousness after it comes out of the body at a death point, for instance, in a past life, and its journey back to the spirit realms, to when it becomes back to its more of the fullness of its fifth dimensional soul form, there's a kind of like an in-between state which relates very much to the astral planes. And the astral planes, just briefly, would have many aspects in them. It's still a plane of duality. So there can be different aspects of beings expanding themselves through either lightness or darkness in those realms. Once we traverse and we get into the fifth plane, more of the soul realm, the duality ends and it becomes very much more in line with oneness and all that is. And the duality that we know in this reality and in the astral tends to fall away. It's a very useful state, very good place to be, and that's where we're going to be focused on spending a lot of the time in the meditation a little later. Above that, our sixth plane would relate to more of the universal energies and universal principles that go into making up all the other planes. Every single plane has an effect on the plane below it and so forth. So when we get into the sixth plane, that would be universal laws that hold the entire universe in place and that are relevant to any planet or any system or any solar system. So for instance, the nature and function of mathematics, numbers, the building blocks from that perspective. You've got astrology, so astrology, numerology, light and sound, sound, light, color, for instance. All of these energies tend to permeate throughout the entire universe. So they'll be affecting every planet, every aspect of the universe itself. And there are laws in place there that will basically function so things tend to hold their form. It makes sense. It would be kind of random if we lived in a universe where planets could crash into each other and that sort of stuff. So the physics, I guess you could say, and the nature of the universe holding itself in form would belong to the sixth plane. Higher than that, the seventh plane, this would be the oneness consciousness. As I said before, it could be a God consciousness, or it could be a oneness consciousness, the creator of all that is, however you want to term it. But that would be the essence of creation itself. And then anything that comes out of that, sort of the God consciousness or the oneness consciousness will come out and it will create forms of itself, which in the soul realm, for instance, there's an individuation. There are souls that are moving through time and space and learning lessons from incarnation to incarnation. So you've got that. And then, of course, coming down into the astral and then down into the individuals that we are in the third plane. And I love a Japanese phrase, which is no two things are identical. And indeed, they're not. No two things, you're not identical to anybody else. You're a very, very unique aspect of source energy. And you are connected to source energy. And that's absolutely what we want to focus on for today. Okay, good. Apologies, I just needed a brief interruption there. So the seven planes, we're primarily focused on the connection between our third plane self, so the physical body, and our soul self, which resides mainly in the fifth plane. Unbeknownst to many people, we're always in both places at once. The soul does not ever put 100% of its energy inside a human body. There's always a percentage that is brought down into an incarnation inside the human body. And the remainder of that stays in the spirit realms the entire time. So we want to establish a connection to that fifth plane self and to work through a couple of aspects that we can help to basically clear ourselves, raise our vibration, and to hold more of the divine sovereignty of that being of who we are. So wherever you happen to be at the moment, whether you're sitting or lying down, it's totally fine. But just go ahead and get very comfortable wherever you are and begin to close your eyes and just focusing on your physical body, making sure that wherever you are, you're in a space where you won't be disturbed for a good 45, 50 minutes, and allowing yourself this time just for you. This is your time, and allow all parts of you to be right here with you right now. Just while you're getting set up, while you're getting more and more comfortable and allowing your muscles to relax, I'll just put a little bit of music on in the background and we'll get ready to go. Okay, good. So focusing on your physical being and also focusing on your breathing and taking a few nice deep breaths. As you're breathing in, just allow yourself to breathe in a sense of relaxation. As you're breathing out any tension. Good. And becoming very aware of your physical being from the top of your head to the tips of your toes. In a few moments' time, I'll just set up a few protocols to assist with protecting your space, setting up some temple space, preparing you to get ready. But just continuing to focus on your breathing in. And breathing out, just letting go of any tension as you exhale. Good. Allowing your attention to go from the external world to the internal world. And if there's been anything on your mind in your day-to-day life, any tasks or any jobs or anything in the diary that needs to be looked at, it's okay, it can be looked at later. Whatever there is in your day-to-day existence, that can wait for a little while until you've completed this meditation and come back. So becoming aware of your space as well, for those of you who've done some Dolphin Star Temple meditations in the past, these protocols will be familiar to you. But above your space, I'd like you to now call, to begin with, a cone of light that belongs to the Pleiadian emissaries of light. This is an interdimensional cone of light. Just noticing that above the space where you are. Next to that, you can allow another cone of light for the Sirian emissaries of light, the evolutionary cone of light, to be above your space. And next to that, you can allow or call on the Andromedan cone of light for an intergalactic cone of light to rest right above the space where you are at the moment. And just being aware of those three cones above the room and the building and the space where you are. And below you, below the building that you're in, or if you're outside the balcony, for instance, below the space where you are, you can ask for an earth cone of light to be connected. And it connects all the way down to the center of the earth, right down to the crystalline core of the earth. Okay. Above your space, I'd also like you to call on the 27 diamond light pillars of light. Just imagining 27 diamond light pillars of light above your space as well. And however you perceive that is fine. Just emanating a vibrational, protective quality throughout the space where you are. And we're just going to call on some divine helpers to be with us today. We'll start with the angels and archangels to assist today. So starting with Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel, Lord Metatron, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Uriel, Archangel Jophiel, Archangel Zadkiel, and Archangel Chamiel to be with us. Also calling on Jesus Christ and Mother Mary, Kuan Yin and Lord Buddha. And given that there could be any number of people from any number of different faiths or denominations, I'll just give you a moment to call on any helpers that you would ordinarily call on in your own practice or in your own belief systems. Whether they may be Hindu or Buddhist or any number of helpers or fifth dimensional spirit helpers. Just take your time if there's anybody that you really like to work with, prefer to work with. And just take a moment to call them in now. Good. Just setting up a protective boundary around the space where you are. Be aware of the pillars of light and the cones of light above the space, cone of light below the space. And just placing a protective ring of energy around the entire space. We'll ask Archangel Michael to seal this space with this sword of truth. So that we may only be aware of truth. And also stating that anything other than the divine must leave this space now. Only that which is divine may enter. Good. Returning your attention to your physical being and your personal energy field. Personal energy field, of course, is the auric field that surrounds your body. And the aura in its proper placing is approximately 3 feet away from the body in all directions. So in front of you, behind you, to the left, to the right, above and below. So just being aware of your own personal energy field, your own auric boundary. And know that anything from the edge of this boundary to the inside is you. All the energies that reside inside your own aura, inside your own chakra system, inside your physical body. Anything from the edge of the aura to the inside is you, or the inside. And that this is your realm of responsibility. Anything from the edge of that aura to the outside is the outside. All those aspects of life here in the 3D, the decisions of other people, the weather, behaviors, beliefs, projections, They all belong to the outside. Just becoming aware of your field. That field that's uniquely you, yours, and yours alone. And bringing your attention down to the very bottom of your personal aura. Basically where the South Pole would be, for want of a better term, the South Pole of your aura, right at the bottom. It's about 3 feet below your feet. And then becoming aware of where the North Pole of your aura would be, 3 feet above your head. Right at the top of the aura, the northernmost point. And become aware that there's a tube of light that connects these 2 points together, that runs right through the center of your being, right through the center of your body and your energy field. And that all of the primary energy centers are connected to this energy tube of light. And that tube of light extends from the South Pole all the way down to the center of the earth, grounding you to this physical reality. And that tube of light extends all the way up through the top of your aura, out into the universe. To all the other planes of existence and to the heart of the universe itself. Extends all the way up to your higher self in the 5th plane. And even beyond that, with your connection to the creator self or the source of all that is, the oneness, in the 7th plane. And we'll just take a few moments. I'd like you to imagine, just using your imagination and your feeling, that you can draw the 7 colors of the rainbow in the form of energy flames up through the South Pole of your aura, right at the earth crystal, the earth portal chakra, bottom of your aura. And just drawing the 7 colors of the rainbow, bright, vibrant energy flames. The red, the orange, the yellow, the green, the blue, the indigo, and the violet. With your in-breath, just drawing all 7 flames from the bottom of your aura all the way up through the tube of light to the top of your aura, and then expanding those flames out with your out-breath. Cleansing and clearing everything on the inside of your aura and all the primary energy centers as well. Each of the chakras at the base, sacral, solar plexus, heart, throat, third eye, and crown, all being cleansed by these 7 rainbow flames. very gently, not needing to force anything, knowing that the energy knows just what to do. And that you're just holding your intention and focusing with your in-breath, drawing all the flames together from the bottom all the way up to the top. And then expanding them out with your out-breath. Cleansing and clearing all that you need to clear on the inside of your own aura. And we'll gently do this for a few breaths, further relaxing the body, further relaxing the mind, and bringing everything into a state of harmony or a 0 point where everything's neutral and present in the now. Using your in-breath and expanding out with your out-breath. And becoming more and more present with each passing moment. Just sensing the flames, sensing the healing and clearing and cleansing properties of those flames. And becoming aware as well that your consciousness, that broad consciousness that's more than who you are in the physical sense, is not limited by time or space. Nor is it limited to just the physical body. In fact, you might find that your consciousness is free to travel, as it does effortlessly on our behalf so many times, like when we're asleep, or even in other ways, even if our attention is only focused on our third dimensional reality. Just breathing gently and easily, knowing that your breathing will take care of itself and the body is well protected, safe and secure. And becoming aware that your consciousness can actually follow the tube of light as it goes upwardly. So if your consciousness can just rise up through that tube of light, through the very top of the aura where the galactic portal chakra is at the top of the aura, allowing yourself to expand out through the top of your head, through the tube, and up and away from the body. You can pause for a moment and just look down and notice where your body is located. As if you're way up there on the ceiling or maybe even higher. Noticing your body safe, secure, protected there in the space. Becoming aware now that you're free of the body and that you're able to travel even higher still, up and away, rising higher and higher, knowing that the tube of light is protected as well. Just asking your divine helpers to ensure that your tube of light is protected as you travel up and away, rising higher and higher and higher until you have a sense that you're out in space, beyond the boundaries of this physical earth, and that you can look back on the earth and just notice it. Amazing blue, watery planet, the various continents, the colors of the continents, the clouds perhaps. Just that ball of the earth hanging there like a jewel in space. And just checking on your feelings, how you're feeling. Perhaps becoming aware that it's nice to be beyond the limitations of that third plane of reality, if only for now. Becoming aware as well. You can keep going. Perhaps looking in the direction away from the earth and upward, continuing a journey through the tube of light, drifting even further. Taking your time, looking in the direction that you're traveling, and noticing that the planes are shifting from that physical sense of reality to more of the astral sense of reality. That shadowy space that exists between the worlds. It's not quite physical and it's not quite divine, fifth dimensional form. It's the space between those worlds. And just keep traveling, rising up and away even higher. Keep following your own tube of light. And whatever speed you're traveling at, whether it's fast or slow, doesn't matter. Almost like you're traveling through your own wormhole through time and space. But always and ever rising up and away, rising even higher. And noticing, as if by instinct and memory, you're starting to come to the end of that astral plane and approaching a new plane. A plane that exists beyond duality. A plane that has a very high vibration. Or any of the troubles, trials, tribulations, emotions, experiences that we experience when we're in the incarnate form. will just tend to fall away. There's a sense of tremendous freedom. A sense of infinite love. No judgment. No dualistic opposites. None of the above. You're just making your way even further until you come into this plane. Fully into this plane and following your own tube of light until you become aware of that infinite light being that you are. This unique, somewhat individuated form of light. It's emanated from the creator source, from the divine source, from the oneness source of all it is. And become aware of all the various characteristics and the nature of this plane. It's light, vibrant, it's free. Perhaps you might recognize other souls close by or nearby, somewhere in the vicinity. Souls that we might share our incarnations with the intent to experience and learn and grow. You may also be aware of any spirit helpers, any teachers or guides, or divine helpers in the broader sense, such as the archangels or Metatron or Jesus, or any of those high-level helpers. Presence of elders, presence of soul characteristics, maybe even an awareness of the age of your soul, your higher self. Perhaps the flickering of memories of if you've been on other planets in different bodies at different times. Just tuning into that unique, right into the core of your own soul essence, this spark of light. That has form, or maybe it has no physical form at all. Perhaps it's just pure light. Just taking the time here in this plane. Enjoy. Connecting, rejuvenated. Just experiencing any form of connection that you have with this highest part of you. And from here as well, you can expand your consciousness out through the entire universe, sensing other planetary systems, other places, other beings. Above all else, just connecting and almost bathing in the sense of feeling this highest part of you once again. Sensing no time, no pain. None of those things that we experience in the lower plane. Only peace and presence and awareness. A sense of the infinite. Many people in their memories, when they spend many hours here, describe it as basically just like coming home. Just take some time to connect with that highest part of who you are. Just pay close attention. Perhaps it has some messages for who you are in the third dimension, in the third plane. If there's any aspects of self or any aspects of purpose we would like you to know about, just take your time and tune in. Becoming aware as well of the infinite nature of this space and the infinite nature of time, if there even is such a thing again. And becoming aware as well of the temporary nature of any incarnation in any part of time and space. any aspect of this radiant, divine space and divine presence of who you are. Also become aware that this is you and that you're connected at all times to the you in your physical body, all the way back there through two planes of existence, all the way back where your physical body is located on Earth. Just become aware of the location of your Earth body, your 3D body, right where you left it. Presently lying or sitting in that exact location, back there on Earth, and become aware that this tube of light, this connection between those selves, the higher self in this realm and the physical self in that realm, is always active and open and connected. And for the physical self, all the way back there on Earth, just become aware of the physical body right where it's located and that beautiful auric field surrounding the body, nicely protected. And the space in which physical body is lying, also nicely protected. And from here, you may also get a sense of that third dimensional matrix that exists on Earth. That matrix of programming and all the things that go on in that reality. You just become aware of any times or any people or any situations or even things that you may not be consciously aware of, where something or someone through that 3D matrix has tried to influence you in the physical. Perhaps have tried to shape you, perhaps have tried to tell you what to do or what to be. Or you have to behave in a certain way or be a certain way or believe a certain thing. And from this perspective, become very aware of any of those things, no matter what they are, or where they've come from, or what their intention is. But anything that does not serve your connection to your higher self or to your true purpose on planet Earth at this time can now be dissolved and let go of. So just become very aware of whatever's taking place inside your auric field surrounding your third dimensional body. And there could be any number of things that have sought to influence or shape you or change you in any number of ways that are no longer in alignment with who you are, the direction you wish to take, or the purpose for which you found yourself on Earth in that body in the first place. And using any means necessary, whether it's the divine light of your higher self, going down the tube of light to dissolve anything that's no longer required, or whether it's the rainbow flames that we work with before coming up to this space. Just allow anything that is not you, not in alignment with you, or does not have a divine intention for your well-being and your experience as a human, to be dissolved in whatever way you wish, and to leave your aura now. Anything at all that does not serve your evolutionary desire to grow into being the best person you could be, to have the best experience you can have in the third dimensional reality. Anything that is illusionary, just dissolving that and letting it go right now. And having the awareness of the connection between your fifth plane, fifth dimensional higher self, and your third plane physical self as being one with each other. Any thoughts, beliefs, behaviors that just no longer fit will no longer need to be there. Let them just wash away. And then in your own time, become aware of that auric field surrounding your third plane physical body. And just strengthening the energetic resonance around that field. Making sure the aura is strong, firm, that only that which is divine, only that which serves your needs is now inside the aura. Allowing the boundary to be strong and protected, and perhaps extending several feet of ultraviolet light on the outside of the aura, all the way around. So it extends around the front of you, the top, the bottom, the left, the right, and all the way around the back as well. Serving to keep you safe and protected from those things that you simply don't need or that are not true. And that act as a fifth dimensional expression of yourself against anything inside that 3D world. That does not have your evolutionary growth, your freedom, and your sovereignty as an intent for you. It's here and now as well, where you can claim your birthright of being a sovereign, divine being, having a human experience. And that by claiming that, it is a right that you have from the higher plane, from the spiritual planes, from the fifth dimensional plane. You have the right to claim that for yourself and own it as an unalienable right to be human. And to be your own self, that expression of your higher self. And just feeling that very strongly around your physical body, the 3D version of yourself emanating outwardly, knowing that this connection with your higher self is always there, always present, always open, and that there is no separation between those selves. Everything just depends on where our focus is set in any given moment in our earthly experience. And with your focus now resting on the fifth dimensional part of yourself, that light being, that soul being, up there in the fifth plane, just experiencing any full aspects of that being in whatever way you wish before we come back. Just taking a few moments. If there's any aspects of gratitude or any last connections you can have with this part of yourself before we travel back into the physical body. Just take some private time with your own higher self. If there are any insights, any reminders, any advice, just take your time to have that experience with your soul self now. Again, knowing that there's never a separation between your fifth dimensional self and your third dimensional self. You can tap into this part of you anytime you choose to relax and set your focus there. Knowing that the tube of light is never broken, it's always there, always protected. Just having the intent as well that the tube of light is protected at all times. It's something you can re-establish in personal meditations, just as an addition to any meditation you do, or by doing this meditation again in the future. Now just perceiving the fifth plane, the spirit realms, the energies of these realms, just experiencing that directly while your focus is here. However it comes to you is fine. And getting ready to journey back down the tube of light, starting to journey all the way back down that tube. When you feel ready, That's it. Just coming out of that fifth plane and journeying back, and you'll notice you're back more in the astral planes. You're just drifting through that shadow, not so physical, sort of physical, but not physical. Very unique plane that it is, and then drifting even further and coming all the way back until you see close up that globe of Earth once again, that physical ball of Earth just hanging there, right in the middle of the universe, broad universe. Becoming aware of the continent that your physical body is in, the room that your physical body is in, just following your own tube of light all the way down till you reach the ceiling, just above where your physical body is located. And following the tube all the way down till you come, your consciousness, your awareness comes down through the galactic portal of light and comes down the tube. You're back inside your own aura. And then knowing that you've made your way back into the physical body and into your physical space. And that your attention and your focus and your awareness is fully with your third plane body, with your regular personality, your consciousness here as a human on Earth. And just taking your time, making sure that you're all the way back, knowing that any part of you that's been out there traveling all comes back to you now. And that you're connecting with your physical being right where you're sitting or lying, right back in third plane physical reality. And I'll just briefly count upwardly from 1 to 10. At the count of 8, you can open your eyes. At the count of 10, you can be fully wide awake, fully present, fully back in the room or in the space where you are. And with each ascending number, you're just going to become a little more awake and a little more physically present. Every number just brings you 100% back into the body. When you come out of this meditation, if you have any tasks or any physical things to perform today, you'll be able to do so in 100% waking consciousness, full safety awareness, your unconscious mind keeping you safe, secure, and well as you go about your business in the day-to-day world. If, on the other hand, you're doing this at nighttime and you're ready to drift off to sleep, you'll be able to drift very peacefully, very securely, and very safely into a sleep. So just depending on where you are, what time of the day it is, either way, you'll be 100% back in your body and coming safely back into the room and into full waking conscious awareness. So 1, just go ahead and wiggle your toes. Give your toes a wiggle. And when you wiggle your toes, you can notice that you start to feel your legs. So the lower parts of your legs, the calf muscles, the front of the shins, you can just give them a little bit of a squeeze. And then up to the knees, 2, and then all the way up. You can start to feel your thigh muscles, the back of the hamstrings, 3. You might just want to give your legs a little bit of a stretch up to the base of the spine. And then you feel your spine waking up, very physical. Feel that real physicality of the spine. 4, up to the shoulders. And as I count 5, just give your shoulders a gentle roll. Feeling very, very present again, very grounded in your physical being, all the way down both arms to the hands and fingers and thumbs. And on the count of 6, just give your hands and fingers a light squeeze, good. 7, noticing that you're more and more awake in the head now as well. On the count of 8, you can open your eyes, just become aware of the space that you're in. knowing that you're all the way back, looking around wherever you are, noticing anything in the room, any objects, light, shapes, etc. Feeling nice and awake now. 9, very much like you do in the morning when you wake up, you come out of sleep. Yep, I'm awake now. 10, fully wide awake, fully back in the room and all the way back into your physical body. And here we are, all the way back. Okay. I hope that was enjoyable for everybody. I hope you got a really nice sense of what it means to be in the fifth plane, how it feels to be in the fifth plane, and how nice it is to be reconnected with that pure soul energy again, and the eternal nature of that soul energy and all the things that it has to teach us. Always remember that you are connected to that at all times. It just really does matter. It does. What's the word I'm looking for? It depends basically on where your focus is directed at any given point in time. So thank you very much. I hope you got a lot out of that meditation. I will be doing a follow-up meditation where we'll be looking at not only sort of building on the sovereignty of ourselves, but helping the sovereignty of the planet as well, and helping the sovereignty of other people on the planet who may not be as aware of their divine nature as it would be good if they were. Put it that way. It would be great if we all were, and we all knew exactly how to hold our sovereignty and how to really honor that as well. So thank you very much for tuning in. It's been a pleasure, and I really look forward to seeing you on the next meditation, whenever that happens to be, and we'll do a little bit of work on behalf of the entire planet. So thank you very much, and bye for now.